All right, good morning, July 2nd, 2026. Oh, what a good day, what a good year. It's Friday, I believe. Anyway, I keep repeating it every day to remind myself what day it is so I don't look like a complete fool, because I do get my dates wrong sometimes, and that's all right. Time is just an illusion. We're in a software program. How are you doing today? I'm feeling really nice, really good. The awareness and awakening continues. It's a rolling process, like the waves on the seashore. They just keep rolling in. The information keeps coming in. And the more that I recognize, if I'm acting the same way, this is it. If you're acting the same way in a situation that you've been dealing with, or whatever it is, and you change the way you act in that situation, you just altered your timeline. And even though things look the same, and you may still get some reflection back, it's changed. And so the reflections that you're getting back in your reality right now, or that which was sent out by you and your collective consciousness, according to what your definitions were and how you handled things, and and all that, if this is your first time viewing my video, let me give a little brief background of who I am. Well, I am who I am. I am in and through all things. But I came up in a nice family, and I was always a little different, always a little oddball, always having to deal with things a little differently. Always, you did this, you did, and I didn't, that kind of thing, and going on in my reality, to try to make me feel less than who I truly am. But I didn't start waking up until 1989. And when I started waking up then, I was engulfed in the third density matrix. It was all in me, I was just, this is it, life is what it is, what we make of it. And I was working, and I was married, and small kids and all that kind of thing. And being at that long ago, let me see, what was that, 37 years ago, something like that. Anyway, my math may be off just a touch. But anyway, 1989, I had an incredible spiritual experience, which opened my mind and my spirit up to that there are spiritual beings watching us, waiting for us to open up and allow things in. You understand? And it was the spirit of Christ at that time. And what went out of me and what came into me in a moment, it was about a second moment, was the old way, the old things inside of me that were caught up in the world of the third density, whatever it was, And at that moment, as soon as that went out, there was an empty space, and immediately from the other side came this white mist that came into me. And right then I knew that that there were spiritual beings. I knew that that I was connecting with these spiritual beings at all times, and a whole host of other things I learned. So from that point on, and before I get to there, before that day, I was having incredible dreams to test my faith. Before I was really, devout and all that. I was a believer, yes, but I was tested by dark energy. And I say dark energy because if you didn't know, you create hell, you create Satan, all of it. Anyway, enough on that for now, because you may disagree, and that's okay. Because I've experienced. I'm talking from experience. Everything I say in these videos is from experience. And if it ain't from experience, I'll let you know. I'll let you know that it's revelation. Because being in third density, and once you open up and so once I had that experience, let me get lined up right here. So I had that experience, things really started changing in my life. I started getting opportunities to expand my consciousness. And so I did. I would have dreams here and there. I know I started talking about the dream before that event happened in 89. It was in September of 89, a very significant date, September 23rd, 1989. But the events I was having before that day were testing my faith in the dreams, all this kind of thing, and they were heavy, they were dark, based on my definitions. You understand? So the Matrix took what it could see, the vibration of me. Now I know all this now. I didn't know it then. It was a little bit different understanding, but I'm fully aware now and fully awake, know how it all works. But it took what I had defined my reality to be, and my spiritual beliefs as well, whatever they were defined as, and work that to test me, to pry open weakness if I could. But I sent that test for myself, knowing what I know now, that I might come with a strong testimony. And I do have a strong testimony of spiritual things and of who I am. But back then I gained a testimony of the energy of Christ and the energy of love, and to not judge, and all the Beatitudes, that kind of thing, that came into me with that white mist. And it was a beautiful moment. I'll never forget it. It was incredible. Just absolutely incredible. But since then, and since 2020, let's move way forward to 2020, when the C-19 was in play. Okay, that was a program. I hope you all realize that it's a program to get you to shut you down, because people were waking up right and left and breaking from the matrix of control. And so the controllers of the matrix, and I won't mention them because they're insignificant. I mean, for the third density, yes, but when you come out of the third density, even though my body is still here, even though I'm still experiencing, I can still be killed and all these things, I still experience hunger and whatever third density is and whatever my body is going through. But at the same time, my body is at a higher level. And now this is the the C-19 came in, and they came up immediately with a boom, boom. You need that. And it ended up not being what they said it was. It was a control program to put in your body. Nanobot technology is what it was. And so it got into your system, and so they can turn it on and off. And anybody that had the shot, they can control your thought patterns. They can you become a slave. And you can't control it. They can guide you to say, I need to go over here. It's important. They make you think that it's important. And you go over there, and they flip you out. Not flip you out. They change you out, because they got your DNA from your polio vaccine many, many years ago. All right. They know who you are. They know where you are at all times. Your frequency, they got it recorded. Okay. But all that, and to make a long story short, and it's been long enough, and there's a whole lot of experiences in there, and I mean a lot of experiences. That's how I know what I'm saying is absolutely true. We're living in a program that we control. Once you're aware and awake, you understand that what you're listening to, what you're watching on television, or even YouTube or any social media, it's a method of control. And so they know what you're watching, they know what you're listening to, so they try to send things into your timeline that'll, they're clever, that'll alter you, make you get frustrated, or they'll do this or do that, and it's in my opinion it's pathetic. But I don't worry about a dang thing anymore. I filled my heart with love, forgiveness. I have no anger against anybody. The dark ones, I love you guys. You've helped me more than anybody else, because I know when I run into a dark test where I'm having a challenge, I know that I sent that, my higher self, I sent that into my reality to help me learn a lesson. And if it keeps coming back, or if I'm in a loop where the same things keep showing up, wow, that's quite an experience. I got to tell you that too. But I want to tell you about when you truly wake up, is when you know that you are the universe. You've been behind the veil, because you have to get behind the veil to know who you are. And what you're aware of is just and I've said this, a little mosquito, whatever, he keeps flying around behind, but you're aware of this much of who you are. You're You're all of it. That's your perceptions, of course. I understand that. But as you think, so it is. As you believe, so it is. So definitions is this whole video. The matrix guides you and controls you by your definitions. You understand? That is what you need to get a hold of. And I can't stress that enough. Once you start redefining what's true to you, and whatever you think is true because you believe it. You have the power of belief, and that is something that you need to understand, it's all controlled by you, every bit of it. So I don't drink alcohol, don't do tobacco. Those things cloud your judgment. Now, if you're doing those things, it don't mean you're not being protected and blessed and all these kinds of things. But when you do those things, you are blocking certain frequencies from coming into your life. You want wealth and good health, you got, those are frequencies. Money, you want money, you got to be a good manager of money. Be thinking the correct way, believing that you already have much of it, a lot of it. You're already a billionaire. You're already a multimillionaire. You already have that wonderful job, whatever it is. Your ideal mate, your love life. You already have her in your heart, or him. And mostly men listen to my videos, so and that's all right. But remember to love people. The energy of Christ is upon us. The second coming of Christ is going on right now. There's no doubt in my mind. When you get the dreams that I've had, and you get the information, and you see the things I've seen and experienced what I've experienced, you know that it's going on. I'm one of the anchors, and you are too. You're an anchor of light. You don't have to go out and proselyte and all that. And if you're caught up in a church or a belief that Jesus is the Savior, well, then that's what you're going to experience, that timeline. You understand? But that's not the true timeline of true reality. The true reality timeline is you are God, and you control it all, and you can live in the body you're in for thousands of years. And so it is.